Hello, everyone. This is Johannes Andersson from the band Tribulation, and you are watching Loud TV.
So, Jonka, or is it Johan, or what's your?
It differs, but usually Jonka, my friends call me. But
Okay,
my real name is Johannes, but
all right.
only my
Uh,
mom says Johannes.
yeah. So there is a fifth album for Tribulation.
Indeed.
Um, Last time I saw you, it was in Paris 2 years ago with Arch Enemy
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Bataclan
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
with my friends from Ginger. How was this tour?
It was good, but hang on. I think it was 3 years ago, right?
Uh, 2018.
Yeah.
You're right.
It
You're
was
right.
January even. So
Yeah, yeah,
three
yeah.
3 years.
3 years. Wow.
No, it was good. I mean, it was a great tour. One of the bigger European ones we did for Down Below, and great crew, great bands, and of course, there's always circumstances around tours that makes it different and
Yeah.
difficult. I remember we had to switch vehicle um, in the middle of the tour, and that was horrible. So, in that sense, it wasn't good. But the shows were really good, and the crowds were there, and yeah, I remember it as being good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've read that this is your fifth album was a bit special. It was a special immersion into the way you wrote this album.
Kind of typical, I'd say. This time, Jonathan wrote more of the songs. Usually, it's kind of 50-50 in between Jonathan and Adam. But it just turned out this way. Jonathan wrote 7 and Adam wrote 3. So, but I think the process was kind of similar. Doing a lot of demos before, and yeah, and finalizing the demos in the studio as we usually do. But yeah, sure, we ended up staying a bit longer than usual. I think we were there for at least 2 months this time, and that's probably our record. So yeah, but otherwise it was kind of the same process getting the songs on the tape, so to
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
So as you mentioned, Jonathan wrote most of the material,
Mhm.
and it's kind of weird because he has left the band
Yeah, it did.
1 month ago.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bizarre situation.
Yeah, but there's never any good timing to quit a relationship. Not a relationship. We're still friends, of course, but
Yeah.
kind of becomes a marriage when you play together that long. I mean, we played over 15 years together, so it is strange. But as I said, there is no good timing for for leaving such a long collaboration or marriage, as I said. There's always something coming up, and there's always bad timing. If
Yeah.
he would have left before a huge tour, that would also be kind of chaotic to find some new guitar player really fast. But yeah, it left us in a quite strange situation for the promotion of the album. I mean, it's basically me and Adam doing the interviews, for example,
Mm.
and a lot of questions, of course, is about or around his songs as well. So it's kind of hard to answer those questions, I guess. But I have to say, there's of course no bad blood at all. We don't blame him. I mean, he wanted to quit, and he's been thinking, of course, for a long time about it, and we totally understand. It's hard being in a band, and you know, he was at the end of the road, and he has to do what makes him feel happy. And as a friend, that's way more important than having him as a colleague in tribulation. So I
Mm.
don't. So I just want him to be happy and succeed and have success with whatever he's doing, his solo work, for example. So
So was
good
it
luck.
musical differences, or he couldn't tour anymore, or?
I think it's more than that. It's a combination, I guess, of everything being in a band. One classical thing that I think took over a lot was the business side. Um, there's so much to take care of when you're a band on our level. You have to really do everything. You have to be charged of the company. You have to pay all those invoices by ourselves. We have to do the taxing. We have to do, there's a lot of work and no fun. So I think that's one part of him, getting fed up with all the
Yeah,
boring business side of being in the band.
yeah,
But
because
also I think he's such a artist. He needs to create all the time, and maybe the the three others, us three, we might not be on the same kind of level. We have families and wives, and he's kind of the lone wolf, and has more time to be creative with any project he takes on. But I think he needs not to be. He don't want to compromise anymore. I guess is a guess of mine. Just be able to have all the control by himself, basically.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's a big puzzle being for individuals that make everything work, and so I guess he feels a part of him feels like it's better to be on his own, so he doesn't have to compromise with other people as well.
So you recorded and co-produced the album with Jamie
Yeah,
Acton,
yeah, correct.
and so different people involved, mixed in the sound studio, and mastering by the master Magnus Lindberg. So
Yeah,
so many people involved, and how did you work with all the people? It's
uh, having a producer turned out to be something we really liked, and we kind of during the recording of Children of Night, I guess, when Ola was behind the mixing board, he kind of took on that role without us even asking, and we felt that was very nice of him to take charge and be the one who says what has to be done. What are we doing now? And so after that, we also used producer on Down Below, and of course Jamie Elton on this new one. And Jamie, he's our front of house when we play live, so he felt very natural for taking that role because he knows us so well, and he's also a recording engineer, so he knows all the tech stuff, and he's a very pleasant guy to have around. So without Jamie, those 2 months in the studio might have been more miserable maybe. Who knows? but he's just a jolly old chap from London that we really like.
Yeah.
And then Tom, who mixed it, he did a huge job as well. I loved his results, but of course it was Corona, so we couldn't fly to England to join him in the mixing studio. So we spent all the vacation this summer to, mailing back and forward different mixes and giving thumbs up, and there was a lot of messaging the whole summer basically.
Did you
But
get
yeah,
several mixing?
yeah, I mean, of course, some songs got mixed, I don't know, 10 times, because we wanted the perfect result. But yeah, Tom, we met him on the Ghost tour we did at the end of 2019. He's been working with Ghost amongst others, a lot of others, and he approached us backstage and was very friendly. So we kind of got the hint that he wanted to work with us. So we emailed him, I guess, and asked, and he was up for it. And then Magnus, the mastering guy, we've been using him for, or at least we used him on Down Below, the previous one, and he's the guy in Sweden, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe in Europe, I don't know, but
Worldwide, I would say.
yeah, it's got such a high quality. It's so easy to use him, and the results are always good. So that's why.
Yeah. And the sound is yeah. You're searching for a 90s sound, something like this,
We never know because we don't have a plan, not even for the songs or any themes or the sound. I mean, the sound kind of grows on us and kind of shows itself in the studio, I would say, because we're so bad at geeking out with pedals and amps and microphones. So basically because we don't know anything about it and don't have any particular interest in knowing it either, we just want to play, I guess. But yeah, it really helps. Damn, I lost the question. What was the question? Oh, the 90s sound. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Uh,
you're not so far from the dark dark side, the
yeah.
dark sound of the 90s. It's can we say that it's dark metal?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it's hard to define a sound. I think it's just very, very professional and heavy sounding. I don't know. Maybe it is kind of mainstream. Who knows? It's not sticking out too much, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not some black metal sound, or it's not
No.
70s.
Between.
It's just a good sound that we liked, and we really became to like it, at least. Yeah.
Um, about the topics, it's kind of a concept album around the dark and esoteric side in many cultures. You got several examples from the Eastern and the Western sources, like Daughter of the Jinn or Inanna, who was a Sumerian god. Did you take the leadership of the lyrics, and who's got the no?
No, actually, no. It's the songwriter who provides the lyric. Uh,
Jonathan.
yeah, or Adam. Uh, but it's a funny thing. It's was the same situation as with Down Below. Um, Without even talking to each other, Jonathan and Adam's lyrical theme or thoughts about what this song is going to be about somehow ends up in the same kind of area, and it's very easy to work with and get a theme out of it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, and the themes on this album, if there is any, there's the elements, of course, that's present mostly. But at the same time, I think it's very typical Tribulation themes. It's the same kind of things we sung about since we were teens. So it's the constant inspiration source, I guess, of horror, myth, and magic, and everything that lies within. You know, there's such a depth to it. It's an endless inspiration,
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah.
Um, to finish, who will who will replace Jonathan into the band?
We actually released a statement. I don't know, a month ago, maybe more. Joseph Toll, anyway, is his name. Joseph. He's a dear old friend of ours. So that transition was probably the easiest member switch we ever could think of. Because of he's such an old good friend. We grew up together. He's the same age. We went to school. Adam had played with him in Enforcer, and I play him with him in different projects as well. And he's always been on the sideline of Tribulation. So he knows everything about our career, and he's been helping us a lot. He even wrote a riff on some song. He's been driving us. He's been selling merch. He's just the guy who's always been there, and because he is such a good friend, and that was the second thing Jonathan said when he said I'm leaving, was you should really ask Joseph. And of course, he was first on our list if this would occur as well. So I'm very glad he said yes. If he hadn't said yes, then I think we would need a break maybe, or take some more time at least, not to rush anything. But he did say yes, so the new Tribulation will be on a stage near you.
Yeah. So yeah. What about the stage and concerts?
Who knows? Do you know?
Pretty hard. Something like maybe for European bands playing in Europe, maybe you could tour in September or this year.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is guessing, of course. I would love to see the summer festivals happen, because if they don't, I think a lot of them will, be bankrupt and quit. But of course, there's new festivals coming every year as well. But it's sad if many of them has to be out of business because of this.
Yeah.
But because I think a lot of them survived last year or last summer, but they don't survive one more, I'd say. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, our first show will be one of the festivals in June, I think. So I hope that happens. But otherwise, just crossing fingers for the fall, next autumn, so we can tour. We have a planned tour in Europe.
I'd like to see you on stage with one of my favorite band ever, Moonspell. Could be good, no?
Could be good. I have to confess I haven't listened that much, but I do know of them, and I don't know if we ever discussed touring with them. There's so many touring offers coming sometimes. You remember which.
It's good. So it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. I mean, the match, we should match somehow, I guess. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see.